So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about an idea that's kind of been bouncing around among the more competitive people in our locals, and that is.
We really kind of want to have a database for all the YCSs, going very, very intricate and in what would be there. Like, not only having finding names of people that have how many tops and what tops they have at these events.
But basically, like, literally a Yu-Gi-Oh! By the numbers type of thing, where I remember, in some older coverages, like back when maybe they first started doing YCSs, they did the whole, like, certain percent of the people are running Solemn Warning in their deck, and of this percent, 73% are running 2 copies, 74 oh, that wouldn't make sense. Like 20% are running 1 copy, like stuff like that. And what was the other?
Just
7%?
we're not doing math here.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, you can see what percent of everybody is running everything. It's like,
And
you give out the numbers.
Just top name cards, and not only would we have that, we would have like top name decks. Like I know somebody did this at a regional that was not too long ago. They looked at all the deck lists compared to the whole, and they looked and they saw like Dino Rabbit was like 40% of the
Right.
entire regional.
And I know people would be like, well, what constitutes Dino Red? Well, you guys know. I mean,
Like just generic, like how they used to, whenever they put up deck lists, they used to call it Synchrocentric or Dino Rabbit or something, and just if it falls in certain categories, then just put it up as that thing.
Right, and this would be good because this gives players who are preparing for events. We have a certain player at our locals who can't ever decide what he wants to play. His name starts with an M and it ends with a ASIN, but he never. I mean, he's really wishy-washy. He's kind of like into the stats thing, and he's always like, oh well, I think a lot of people are gonna be running this, but I don't know. So you can basically see what percentage of decks, techs, cards, all that stuff were run at previous events. It'd be great for preparing for
Next event.
yeah, upcoming events. Like, you could know, if at the last 3 YCSs, a lot of people have been, only running 1 MST in their main deck. So maybe it is safer to go with,
Like running like one.
Yeah.
Or none at all.
or maybe it's safer to go with more traps in your main deck. And so basically, like, by doing this, you give competitive players something to plan with.
The ability to look at. Now, the only problem I can see with this is it would be easier to make meta calls compared to just if you had to look at trends yourself and what people saw. However, it would just help competitive players understand how, like even non-competitive players who just want to go and play for the lulz, like there's this thing called a side deck, which
Right.
is 15 cards, and if you don't know what's going to be in that event, you don't know
There's
what's
just no
aside.
way. I've always thought, I always wondered why they sort of stopped putting up the top 32 deck list. Personally, I think it's because they're lazy, but some people say it's so that there wouldn't be net decking. I think that there's probably laziness is somewhere behind it.
The problem is, like, we all know that everybody's going to be putting them up on YouTube anyway.
So why not? Why not document a lot of this stuff? We should, YouTube's great for finding things. Shout out to Vexicus again. He does a lot of. There goes Hunter's Cub. He does a lot of like coverage and stuff, but it's great that he does. It's great that all the YouTubers who do coverage, but Konami, it's their game.
It's their game. They should.
They
Like,
need to
it's not that much
do-
extra work. And the problem is, people like Vexicus, I've talked to him and seen him. He really hates. Like, he loves being able to give all the information to people, but it's just so strenuous that he has to go like some of the ways he doesn't know everybody, so he has to go on Facebook and just ask these people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an issue.
I think above the probably roaring wind in the mic, I think that this would be just. These are basically like stats. Like, it's not really even something that's like you have to take time and write an article and think of a paragraph. This is just typing out deck lists, and then it can all be kept up with for them in an Excel spreadsheet.
And even if they're too lazy to type up deck lists, they can just put pictures of the actual deck list that was written out on there.
Right. I mean, and I've seen YouTubers that actually do that. Doesn't Ontario when he does his regional
Ontario
thing, he takes
did that,
pictures
but
of.
it was too blurry
Anyway,
last time.
but yeah, I think I mean like stats, guys. Like stats can never hurt. They can only help. I think competitive players would appreciate this. Gazoodles and novice players is a great way to see what's popular and maybe why.
Yeah, if somebody comes in wanting to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, well, they know how to play, but they want to get better and actually, play good decks, which I know everyone will say, oh, this is a good deck. Well, let's play the top decks that are winning and understand how to play them.
And it's great for just like analyzing afterward. You can read. And like the thing is, whenever we go to these events, I'll hear like some of the players play like Mason Hunter. I usually hear things like, "Oh yeah, there were loads of Sams there." Well, were there really loads of Sams there, or did you just play a lot of Sams there? I mean, if you walked around and saw maybe 10 Sam matches of 500 players, does that really mean there were a lot of Sams, or you just saw a lot of Sams? So these stats are good for just. I mean, they're just good. I don't know. They're just helpful for so many things.
Information is one of the biggest keys to understanding anything, if you can get it. So why not give us this information to help us understand trends in the game, understand what's happening.
Right. So now it is time for your input. I don't know where the comments section is on YouTube now.
It could be over there.
Yeah, it's probably. Is that it?
I see it down the road.
That's a tree.
Close
Wait, no, that
enough.
is the comments queue. It is a tree, isn't it?
I mean, you could just
Because it
graffiti.
branches when you make a reply. So it is a
ha,
tree.
ha.
Oh, we're funny. But leave a comment on what you think of this idea and leave a video response maybe. I don't know if they let you do that anymore.
Well, I don't know how YouTube works.
Subscribe, wherever that button is now. Just, keep up with all this stuff and give us feedback. We want to know what you guys think because you guys like some of these videos a lot. So.
And give us ideas.
Yeah.
We run out of ideas.
We think of these things on the spot for those of you
don't know.
who are new to this. I think we just thought of this right before we go.
Actually, it was in the middle of the last video.
Well,
Oh well.
it's true.
It happens.
Yeah, so we're about to go to locals, so we're just gonna pretend that we're not staring at a camera and.
People won't think we're creepy.
You ready to go? Off we go to locals. Subscribe.